Hi, this is Asif. Welcome to EC 3120, and I'll be your TA for this semester. And EC 3120 is pretty different from the other labs, and I'll tell you why it's really different. And to make sure you can see clearly, I'll just turn off the light. Okay. So here we are. We are in EC 3120, and I'm pretty lazy. So what I do is just like I draw a line and just write the section number. And so we're in section 1, and the people who are taking the online course, it should be section 400. Okay, so this was from the last semester. It was an image, so I couldn't change it because it was already there. So we know our lab times. It's different from when we are meeting. For online, the course is different. But since I imported the image, I didn't find the original, so it's already there. Okay, so it's a courtesy to introduce myself. So I'm a graduate student in ECE since 2010. It has been a long time. Going to graduate in sometime. And I have taught 309, which is now 2080, 311, and 312 in the past. Okay, some more info about myself. I love to eat. I love to drink sugary stuff. I tell bad jokes, and I forget a lot of stuff and tell the joke again because I forget I have already told you guys. And I am a certified chopstick user. That means I can use chopstick very efficiently, and I was certified by Chinese people. By the way, I'm from Bangladesh, and it is actually from here. So I came from here to here. I started running, then swam across the sea, then started running. I took a camel ride, then swimming, then walking, then the big swimming part. So I ended up here. So it's a little bit bigger view of where it is. So here's India, here's China, and here is where I'm from. It's really tiny place. Okay, so now it's up to you. You should say your name, where you are from, your hobbies, and any superpower that you have, or you can tell us anything about you. Okay, so start.
Hi, my name is Matthew Arana. I'm from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. My hobbies are music, and I'm interested in computers as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have no known superpowers, but I'd like to be Spider-Man.
Okay, and you?
My name is Bayshore O'Donnell. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. My hobbies are writing poetry, working very hard at various jobs and making money. My superpower is I have the ability to get anything, mostly anything, what anybody needs.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, after the class ends, I have a list waiting for you. Okay. So anyway, if we have a bigger class, usually we have some more people with some more interesting backgrounds. Like someone said, hey, I'm really good at getting traffic tickets. I said, what? I said, yeah, I got 7 traffic tickets. Anyway, so let's get back to work. We have 6 experiments in this entire semester. So sounds pretty fun, only 6. How it works is, first we'll discuss the concept. So we'll say, okay, what is expected of you when these are the stuff, and then you will build the circuit. Okay, so it's like pretty rhythmic, like 1 0 1 0 1 0 kind of stuff. But there's some bad news. Since it's 3120, the expectation is pretty high, and we are EC student, right? Like if this was a non-departmental course, for example, this was bioengineering course and you were from some different background, then the expectation was different. But since you're from EC and you're taking the EC 312, we expect a lot out of you guys. So you have a very steep learning curve, and you are really mature in EC stuff. So you shouldn't say, I don't know that. Yeah, you can say that, but it's not going to hurt your grades, but you can't actually feel comfortable saying something like that, right? Because you guys actually know a lot at this point. So at this point, you should be able to troubleshoot a lot of stuff by yourself. It's true, because in previous labs, you can try for 5-6 minutes and you can say, hey, Tia, come over here and help me out. But in this case, I will be there. If you raise your hand, I will be there. But the thing is, at this point, you have enough know-how and capacity to troubleshoot by yourself. Okay, and where is the TA and where is he? So I'll be doing all the circuit and the TA is having a nice vacation somewhere here? No, the TA has some job too. What the TA will do? TA is here to grade your work and make sure you are rewarded for your effort. So he is just here to make sure you have done something and it doesn't go unnoticed. Everyone in the world knows about it. Okay? And TA can give you suggestion, like if you have some problems and he will say something, okay, try this, try that. He'll give you suggestion. And finally, I will actually work with you guys. So it's not like that I'm not here, but what I'm trying to say is, at this point, you guys are kind of in a much higher level. Okay, so you can do a lot by yourself, but anytime you need help, I'll be there. And I will not be angry that, hey, yeah, you should be doing all this by yourself. I'll not be angry, but I'm just communicating what is expected of you. And the bottom line is, the more a TA works in EC 312, the less you will have the chance to work and you will miss the opportunity to learn. It's the philosophy that I believe. I mean, you can just ask me any question. I can be with you. I can build your circuits with you, but that will actually hurt your learning. That's my point. So try the best you can do here, and I'm here, no problem. Actually, I'm not trying to avoid my responsibility. I'm just trying to say you are in charge here. Okay, so what the TA specifically wants from you is the patience. This lab actually requires a lot of patience and willingness to understand. It's actually more applicable for bigger classes when we have like 15 students. So if 5 people have the problem at the same time, then like we have to say, okay, just one after one. But here we have no problem like that. A little more hard work and not thinking this as a 1-credit course. That's my advice. This course is not 1-credit course. Yeah, it is technically in paper, but it will require you to work a little bit harder than a regular 1-credit course. And it's true for every department. When you are in the higher, I mean, you are closer to graduation and you are taking the difficult labs, your labs is still 1 credit, but you actually have to work a little bit harder. So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't think this as a 1-credit course. It will ask a little bit more out of you, and you can do fine if you just give it to it, okay? All right, so after all this, we hope we'll learn tons of stuff, we'll be smart at the end of the semester, and we'll be great engineers, all right? So now let's read the syllabus together. I know you have been all day to read it. It's a very interesting piece of article. No one wants to read it. I sent it to the students, but no one likes to read a syllabus, but we should. Here you go. All right, so in reading the syllabus, I will just make things really quick. At first, you have the course name, the EC 3120 and electrical engineering, and the meeting time, and the regular stuff. You have my name, Asif Amir. You have my email address, my office, and office hours. And there is a list of required materials. So I'm not going to read all the stuff, but you know what's there. Lab manual is online. You can find if you go to that address. And there is a laboratory notebook that you have to bring here. And it is a very important piece of paper for the finals. I mean, it's not a piece of paper, it's just some very important document. So when we are at the end of the semester, we will look into the lab manual, no, sorry, excuse me, your lab notebook and see how much work you have done. So I'll tell you in detail like what should be in the lab notebook in a while. There is course prerequisites and core requisites, I think you know that, and there are the objectives. So you should learn to design and characterize some simulation and proficiency in using virtual instrumentation, construction on measurement of circuits, and development of sound library practice, data gathering, log keeping, and written reporting skills. Now, there is a grading criteria which is pretty important. I should discuss a little bit about it. It's 30% in lab activities, so attendance and participation, and 70% is on reports and notebooks. And then we are going to talk about the reports. There are pre-labs. Most of the labs include pre-lab. So the pre-lab is we have some preparation for the lab so that we don't come to the lab and think, okay, what I should do. But the pre-lab is you just do some simulation and you just send me the print screen. It's just to make sure that you come to the lab well prepared. That's it. It doesn't. I don't want you guys to write a lot of stuff like, hey, I did this. It doesn't have to be very descriptive. You can write 1 or 2 lines, but print screen, I did that simulation and I'm ready for the lab. That's fine. And then there's a post-lab. Post-lab has the full formal lab report, and there's a footnote and short form lab report, and there's also a footnote, and which labs there should be 2, 4, 6. They have the full formal lab reports and short report for 1, 3, and 6. And in the footnotes you can find where you can see the examples and the guidelines. And lab 6 is the final lab, so you don't have to submit a full report on that. You can just write the summary and that will be enough. And there's a lab notebook. I have actually talked about it. The lab notebook is you just write the equations and the preparations and your values when you come to the lab, because when you are working in the lab your numbers will change, but the lab notebook serves as the guideline. There's a tentative grading scale. I'm not going to read that. And some useful information. The lab session has the format like day 1 lecture, day 2 implementation, day 1 lecture, day 2 implementation, something like that for each lab. And late work, there's some lot of text about it. To summarize, it's like we should try to be on time. That's it. We should try to follow the schedule. We can be a little bit lenient, but it's a summer course, so if we start making some delay, it will just keep building up and it will be difficult for us to make up in the future. Late instructor, if I'm late, you have to wait 15 minutes. That's the department rule. And if I'm not here for 15 minutes, then you can leave. It's okay. The attendance is mandatory for every lab. So we are just 2. I'm not going to bring the sign-up sheet. That will just waste your time. And there's the academic integrity statement. So you can read that. It's also in the Clemson website. And there's a schedule. It just gives you the idea session 1, session 2 to session 12. But in the Blackboard, I have uploaded a file which just reads schedule, because if I put the dates here and every time we have to make a change, I have to send you guys a new syllabus. Instead of that, if you log into the Blackboard, you'll see in this course there is a file which reads schedule. Okay, so if we make some changes on the date, I'll just delete that file, upload a new file. So that way we'll be able to keep things going in a smoother way. By default, we have the class unless you receive an email, hey, class is cancelled or something like that. Otherwise, the default setup is, okay, we are going to meet here at 6:30. So that's all. Do we have any question? And in the session 12, there is some text in the red. You can see lab 6 counts as the final test. Okay, we don't have any individual test. On that day, that's the final test. Sorry. Any question? All right. So we don't have any question. That is great. So that ends the introduction part. Can you please turn off the video camera?